Okay, so I went File, New. Like I said, landscape or portrait, for the most part, I see it in a landscape format, but you're more than welcome to have your orientation in a portrait format. 8.5 by 11, keep it easy, because when you do want to present these to your client, if you happen to send to them, if they want to print them off, it's nice and easy for them to print. We can leave our margins where they're at right now, and we can always adjust that later. I want to make sure facing pages is not on. Facing pages is like a book. So you have a spread. We don't want that. We just need 3 single pages. I'm not going to bother noting 3 because I'm going to get my design done first, and then I'm going to go ahead and create my others. So nice and easy. I've got my 8.5 by 11. I've got my pages palette, my tools. So what I probably want to start with first is maybe a color palette. So let's say our color palette is over here, and I'm going to go File, New Color Swatch. Let's go solid coded, and let's go maybe a bright orange.
Kristen, what workspace are you using?
I'm in InDesign. Is that what you mean?
No, like the workspace.
What do you mean workspace? Sorry.
Like the orientation, in terms of the Essentials setting, or I think it's Essentials Classic from what I can see, but I don't know if it's custom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Workspace. Gotcha. A little bit of a brain there. Probably Essentials Classic. Yeah, you're right, Katrina. Essentials Classic is what I got, but I always open and close different things, so it might. No, it should. I think you should have everything up there with Essentials Classic. If not, you can always go Window, Color, where are we, and Swatches to find those. And then again, we hit that beautiful hamburger menu, which we're going to learn a little bit more about later. New color swatch. Again, I like to work in Pantones because I just like to go through and select my colors like this, but you're more than welcome to use straight CMYK, and you can just use your sliders that way. So let's just say, let's add that color. And I always just create these little boxes off to the side. And then let's just say maybe my dog's barking. Let's just go with that. Nice and easy. Okay, so we can either set a background color. We can maybe just start with getting our image in there. So a great site for you guys, I don't know if anybody knows, which is Unsplash. So Unsplash is a great resource for royalty-free, really nice images. So because you're in school, you could probably use Google Images. It's not, I think it's legal because it's for education purposes. But like I said, Unsplash has beautiful photos already. Maybe you're a photographer and you have photos that you want to use, you're more than welcome to as well. So I'm just going to say, my dog's having a little roll around again today. Young male. So I'm going to just look through here. So now I'm thinking, okay, so my first persona I want to do would be, let's just say, yeah, I'm saying a young male. Let's say this guy. So I'm going to download that. So we'll just work with one for now. So you could technically get your design and your layout done first and then start inputting your photos. But perhaps maybe giving you a good visual might be nice to at least start with one to get a picture in there. So sorry, I'm jumping ahead and forgetting I'm showing you. So we're going to use our rectangle frame tool. I'm just going to draw a box because we can adjust. We can adjust that after. My kid's joining us now. So now to get an image in there, I can do it one of two ways. I can take my photo and I can drag it right in. It's quite large, but that's okay. We can adjust that, or Command Z, undo. Or I can go Command D, which is File, Place. No, Sorry, guys, 1 second. And then navigate to your photo. All right. So, oh gosh, sorry guys. Totally losing my train of thought because of the commotion happening. I'm sorry. Okay, so we have our 2 ways of getting our photo in there. We can drag and drop, or we can Command D and get that shot in there. Okay. So now once we have our photo in there, it's quite large. If I go to my white arrow, you can zoom out, you'll see this. You see this orange box coming up. You can actually, in fact, scale down that way. Because once you hit your orange arrow, you're manipulating what's in the box, not the actual box. Or nice and easy, you can go up to your frame settings, and you can click this one, which is fit content proportionately. So now it's at a nice manageable size, and I can click this to snap that box around it. And then I can place this where I see fit. So without getting too wrapped up in the crop, I'm going to start thinking about my actual layout. So I'm kind of jumping into a digital version of this. Personally, for me, I very much like to sketch things out before. So I would probably sketch out I call them buckets. So the buckets of our information where we want to place those things. So where I want to put my demographics, where I want to put my behaviors, etc. But for the most part, like we saw in our lecture, and I mentioned, everything's very much set up in a grid. So it's clean, it's easy to understand. Everything's in these little, like, this is a bucket, this is a bucket. Everything's nice and clean. So we can use this, say, for inspiration, and then we can start filling our information in. So let's just say, let's have this picture go here. And then we can use our rectangle tool, and let's say add a little bit of color. So let's grab one of our swatches. We'll try that teal color here. And again, these are all little things that you can change and edit later. And I'm going to grab my T for my text tool, and I'm just going to start with his name. So let's call him Jamie Smith, real original here. So Jamie Smith. Now I'm going to select my font. So I'm going to highlight my favorite font. I'm switching, but my go-to is always Gotham. So I'm going to go Gotham Bold. So when I go ahead and highlight that, I can go to my text tool, and I can just make that a little bit larger. And then I can decide where I want that. So maybe I want to put that right on the actual image. So I can size up a few ways. I can use my character tool by sizing up. I can select the box, and I can press Command Shift and then open this up, and that doesn't just scale the box, it also scales that font with it. And I can also highlight, sorry, I can also Command Shift, and I can use the forward arrow on the keyboard, the one above the period, and that will also size that text up, and it will also scale it down. So let's just say we want that right in there. And now we're going to let's put maybe his demographics below. So I don't want my font to be that big. I'm going to start with, what are some of the things? Let's say occupation. And then age. Gender, again, you guys might not want to include gender on there. Perhaps, you know, if you don't want to include on there, you can also just say it's non-binary, anything that you feel is appropriate to you or appropriate to your client. Another great little tip in InDesign, it works the same as Illustrator, is snapping to your guides. That's going to help you here because in this instance here, I can actually go and it'll snap right to the edge of that. So I know I'm using, I've got everything aligned perfectly. So say I want to do 2 columns of this. I can also go up to here, which is again, thanks Danny for asking, Essentials Classic. I can go up here and select my columns. So let's just say I want to group my information out into my columns. I'm not filling the information out again because I'm strictly just getting the info in there right now. Let's just say, what else do we have here? Income. Location, I guess you could say. What did I have on here? Geographic. Oh, marital status. That's good. Let's go geographic. Sounds better. So now I've got that little bit of information sitting in there, so I can perhaps maybe use some more of this this space with perhaps one of, you know, maybe my social media activity would work. Maybe you want to include something on, you know, favorite apps.